Hello, everyone. Just going to give a few minutes for people to join. Hello, everyone. I don't know how this lighting is looking because I don't know. Lighting. Let's see. Put on another light. It's gonna have a little glare, maybe. No, I don't like that glare. How does that look? I don't like that glare. Hi, Ariel. How are you? Where are you tuning in from? Your name sounds familiar. So today's live. I'm just gonna wait a few more minutes. By 9:05, we're gonna start. It's just gonna be about 30 minutes. We're gonna get straight to the point. I don't want to ramble too much. I know it's pretty late. Let me know, you guys, if this time works well for you. I just figured later on a Sunday evening, most people are available and free and looking for something to do. So I chose 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you want an earlier time, that would be fine as well. How do you guys like my glasses? So I have these glasses for about a year, and like I hardly wear them, and they're actually really really cute. Like wow, wow. But okay, Arkansas. I was in the last live. Okay, yeah, I have a very good memory, so I definitely remember your name. So are you thinking about moving to Charlotte, North Carolina? Hi, Ngozi. There's like 10 people in here. Where are you guys at? Please show some love in the comments section. We're about to get started literally in 2 minutes. Watch this before moving to Charlotte, North Carolina in 2023. So the reason why I'm just think we're going to transition to doing a lot of lives is simply because people ask so many questions in the comments. There is no way to possibly make a video to address everyone's questions in the comment section. So coming on live is just so much fun. Like last Sunday, didn't we have fun? It's so much fun. And I like them and absolutely more along summertime. Okay. Oh, thank you. You like the glasses and absolutely more along summertime. Okay. I feel like live is just better. It's interactive. We get to answer the questions ASAP. You don't have to wait for me to reply to a comment. And then it's just, it's not engaging, just making regular videos. We're still going to do that, but we're going to focus on regular videos when it comes to apartment tours, like really informational. Like if I want to talk more about the Bank of America home program, if I want to talk about certain things that you really need a lot of information, like facts, then that's what we're gonna make videos on because obviously I'm not gonna sit here and like read a bunch of facts. It wouldn't just be fun. But from now on, expect a live every Sunday. For now, it's gonna be 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If it's not me, Ngozi is gonna hold it down. For all of you new to the channel, welcome to Ejima. I'm Nena. Nena, I live in Charlotte, North Carolina. I moved here from Northern New Jersey 2.5 years ago. And I share the channel with my twin identical sister, Ngozi. So Ngozi lives in Houston, Texas. Okay. She wants to be unique and different. She's going to end up in Charlotte. I can say that next year. So I'm just letting her rock, letting her have her little fun. People, nowadays everyone wants to be different. No one wants to blend in. Nobody wants to follow the crowd. Everyone wants to be unique. But she's going to end up in Charlotte next February. I can tell you guys that for free. But again, I'm just letting her rock. So this channel is shared Ejima. For all y'all don't know, Ejima is the Igbo language. We're Nigerian American. Both our parents were born and raised in Nigeria. Well, not born in Nigeria, but raised in Nigeria. And Ejima means twins in Igbo. So a little background information before we get started. H-Town, yeah, whatever. Hi, and I'm Marika and from Georgia. Okay, so are you planning to move into Charlotte from Georgia? Just interesting because I don't really hear about a lot of people moving to from like Georgia to Charlotte, but I know they do. Definitely know they do. H Town. Oh, I was in H Town last weekend, so that's why I was able to film with Ngazi. We were both in Houston. Very interesting experience. And Ariel, what did you mean? Okay, I like them. Thank you. I know you talk about my glasses. You said and absolutely more along summertime. Please let me know what you're referring to. I really forgot. I don't know what that means. Arkansas, that's so different. How is it to live in Arkansas? Hi, as I remember you. Hey. Okay. So watch this before moving to Charlotte in 2023. So my honest opinion, so it is next month makes 2.5 years I lived in Charlotte, North Carolina. So, oh, summer moved to Charlotte. Why summer? Summer's expensive. I mean, it makes more sense. If maybe do you have family? I think people I would recommend moving like now, like February, March, end of the year, if you want better apartment pricing. And end of the year is I heard apartments are going to drop. I don't know how true that is, but that's what's been circulating because Charlotte is building, it's like cranes in the sky. Charlotte's building so many apartments at a rapid pace that in order for them to get people, they're gonna have to bring down their prices because there's gonna be a lot of empty apartment buildings. That's what people are saying. So I would say now we're like towards the end of the year because summer, these prices are crazy over the summer. Like my apartment was like $400 or $500 more than it is right now when I looked at it over the summer. Um, I've had thoughts about it before, but not completely sure yet. I've watched some of your previous videos. Okay, what part of Georgia do you live in, if you don't mind me asking? So basically, I just think there's some things that people need to know before moving to Charlotte, North Carolina, so they can have the right expectations, have the right. Because for me, you already know I rep for Charlotte. Even though Jersey all day, like I don't have a problem with Charlotte. A lot of people around me complain. There's no men. There's no professional black scene. It's the same people. Is this? Is that? Yes, Charlotte is not perfect. Like no, any city in the world is not perfect. Definitely, still am struggling with finding a space for professional black people. Anyone from Charlotte in here? If you can list some places, I would love that. I just feel like that's common in a lot of cities because black people are a minority, but Charlotte actually has a large population of black people, like we talked about in our last live. And I just feel like a lot of the spaces that I go to that are black owned, for the most part, I just don't really vibe with them. It's not anything personal. It's not like, oh, I don't like the people, I don't know them, but like they can be just a little bit too rah rah rah, a little bit too rowdy for me. Let's put it that way. Like I like chill vibes. Like anyone that lives in Charlotte knows one of my favorite places to go in Charlotte is Crave Dessert Bar. It's in Uptown. Like I just like chill, calm vibes. I also love my Afro beats, like I mentioned, I'm Nigerian American. So but then I can't be in that scene every weekend because in Charlotte, that scene is so small and we don't have a lot of spots. I'm grateful for the spots that we have, but it's not big enough. And, so I'm the type of person, either I want my Afro beats, I want to be dancing, or I want chill vibes. Like I'm just over that whole clubs. Yes, 1501, one of my favorite spots in Charlotte, North Carolina. Definitely because it's outdoor, day move. I could be in my bed by midnight. Like I'm still young, I'm not an old lady or anything, but the streets, that nightlife, sleeping at 2, 3 a.m., waking up the next morning, tired. Like I just don't really like being out at night these days. And I keep saying it, but I still end up being out at night because we end up starting our nights too late, which I'm going to stop doing. Like I'm going to stop doing. Like I want to be out if I'm going out like 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock. I'm back by midnight. I do not want to be in these streets at night. There's nothing happening in these streets late at night. Like it's not. Augusta. Okay, that's so America for everyone. America, I hope I'm saying that right. You're from Augusta. Interesting. I've heard of Augusta. The summer's probably more expensive, but I have a son. I have to wait until his school semester's done. Shake my head. I hope it won't be expensive. Okay, that makes sense. That's why I think they do make it more expensive because they know a lot of people are limited to moving only during the summertime because of their kids' school. Love Crave. Yes. I just wish they would like me and my cousin always talk about, I just wish they would play more like popping music. Like their music be kind of like elevator vibes. Like one day was in there playing like a Mapiano one song. We're like, oh my god, a Mapiano. I just wish they would like, just play some. I don't know. I think they don't want to attract a certain crowd, in my opinion. I think that's why they keep their music like that. But I think they can do a little bit of a better job. But I just love the vibe of places like Crave. I liked also Black One. I had really liked the Barrel at the Lift, but apparently they closed down last fall or ended up last summer. I just like chill vibes. Yesterday I went to this place called Peace Pipe for the first time. It was a pretty cool vibe. The area, I didn't like the area sketchy. There was yeah, it was a sketchy environment. I didn't really like it. And I realized it was right by the hotel I had stayed in when I visited Charlotte for the first time. I'm like, oh my God, this is where I was. This is where I was. But yeah, and then Friday I went to a new spot called Taboo in Uptown. Never been there, heard about it. Chill vibe too. Like I just like chill vibes. But older crowd. Thank you. 1501 older crowd. Everywhere in Charlotte's older crowd. So I think what I want to make this video is about, if people have any questions specifically. Like I said, I'm not a Charlotte connoisseur, but I've been here about 2.5 years and I go out. So sometimes it's not about how long someone has been somewhere, it's about what they're doing. I'm sure in my 2.5 years I've been to more places than people that have been here for 10 years. Like I can say that easily because I just realized a lot of people don't really go out much, especially from my culture. Like girls in my culture, for some reason, like we tend to, I don't know if it's the way that we're raised, we're kind of raised to like stay in the house and, you know, not do too much, don't let people see you too much, don't be all over the place. And I get it, like to an extent it makes sense, but you cannot complain about a city, you can't complain about anywhere you move if you're just going to go there and sit in the house. Like it literally doesn't make sense. Even if you go to the most lit city, go to Miami. I said we'll talk about this last Sunday on the live. Even if you go to the most lit city in the US and you sit in your house, you're not going to enjoy yourself because fun is not going to come knocking at your door. You have to get out the house. And I understand Charlotte can be a little frustrating because if you don't know where to go, the scenes can be like a hit or miss, and you might feel. And then also, I think a lot of people are like me at this point in my life that you're just over that club scene, but you still want to be outside. So it's almost like what you do, and it's funny. It's like everything's a hookah lounge. I don't do hookah. I don't smoke hookah. So at the same time, it's like, okay, like it's like a hookah lounge or the club or dinner or going out to eat or like brunch. But outside of that, like sometimes you want real events, real things to do. And again, those are not just going to happen. You have to look for that. You know, so like this month, I've been on Eventbrite for the first time. I'm on Ticketmaster, and I was like, wow, a lot of things happen in Charlotte. Like, I'm surprised. Like, I would never know if I didn't go out and seek these things, if I didn't go looking for them. And of course, having friends or like people you know that go out and invite you to stuff, that's obviously going to help as well. So, first thing you should know, if you're looking for a place with a big cultural blend, like Brooklyn. If you're looking for like an Atlanta, basically Charlotte's not Brooklyn, Charlotte's not Atlanta, Charlotte's not Houston. Charlotte has a decent, like it's not. I wouldn't say it's lacking diversity totally because there's different groups of people here, but I'm just talking about as far as like that diversity integrating into the nightlife or that diversity integrating into the social culture. I don't think Charlotte is really there yet. You know, like if you want to hear Afro beats, you need to go to African spots. If you want to hear Caribbean music, you need to go to, like we was at Stats the other night and they said, oh, passport, everyone with their passport. Okay. They played like two reggae songs and it was just back to all rap music. You get what I'm saying? So I just noticed a lot of the black owned establishments, they just really play American music. Like that's it. And I can't blame them because there's not a lot of Nigerians here, you know, there's not a lot of other people I don't think here like that. So I don't think there's anyone really pushing them to integrate that music or that culture into their in their environments. Do you get what I'm saying? Like you can't Atlanta, Houston doesn't matter. Like even if places are not Nigerian owned or African owned, they still play some of them still play Afrobeats, or at least they have like an Afrobeat night, just because they're in an environment that they have the numbers, and also it's just I think their culture has just the culture has just taken in that culture, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? So it's more like diverse. Yeah, like in that sense. Because Charlotte, I'm not gonna say like it's not diverse. There's different types of people, but I just don't know if they really have the numbers. I don't have statistics, but from what I see when I go out, I feel like if they had more numbers, they would be playing this music, you know? But yeah, that's what I would say. I would say for people that are moving, like today, like I went to Concord, I'm about to go to Concord again. Like these places you see, CLT has integrated diverse has it the CLT has yet integrated diverse music. I don't know. Can you type that again? So what I noticed is that a lot of people talk about areas to move outside of Charlotte. And hey, do you ever check out Mad Miles? No, I have not been to Mad Miles. I've never been there. How is it? Is it like a lounge or something? I heard about Midtown Tavern. It's a good spot to go to. Like I have a whole list. There's so many places. So when people say there's nothing to do in Charlotte, there's nowhere to go, I'm just like, what? Are we living in the same city? No, you don't. You just don't know where to go. You don't know what to do. But there are things to do in Charlotte, North Carolina. So like when it comes to moving to some places, like I realize why I live where I live, because even just driving to Concord, like 35 minutes, like literally all highway, like all these places, I'm just so lazy. Like for people that maybe if you're used to driving or you like driving, or maybe you're coming from a more rural area, you're coming from a more like country area where you're used to being far away from things, like I could never live in Concord. I can't. Like the most I could probably do is live. Like I went to Mint Hill the other day for the first time. It wasn't too bad. Matthews isn't bad. Like there's places that literally like are not that far from Charlotte. You don't have to even get on the highway. You just get on Independence. I don't know. I don't consider Independence Boulevard a highway. Not really. So, but Concord, I wouldn't advise anyone if you're trying to. Well, it depends what you look for. Okay, the reason why I think a lot of people move to Concord, I'm not gonna lie, people with children, because I'm not gonna even lie, like even when I'm looking at apartments and I'm doing my research and I'm looking at apartments.com, the ratings for a lot of these schools, especially in my area, are pretty poor. even though this is a good area, like these areas cater to young single people. But if I had a family, I don't. Oh, you talk about it's basically a huge black run club that meets Tuesday evening and Saturday. Yeah, I've heard of them. I thought you talked about a spot. Yeah, I'm actually thinking about going to one of their runs. I don't know if Tuesday evenings will meet, but that's okay. Thank you for reminding. I'm gonna put it on my calendar. This Saturday, I'm gonna go run with him, and I have to take medicine every time before I run. Zyrtec because I have allergies. But I'm gonna. Oh my god, like their events look lit. I know on Instagram I see like they have like a party after. Yeah, thank you for that. I think I'm going to and it's just a fun way to be active because sometimes it gets tiring just going to the gym. And I enjoy doing the gym. It's actually really cool, but I want to switch it up. So yeah, thank you so much, Tony, for reminding me. But yeah, basically, I'm saying I know why people go to Concord if they have a family because a lot of the schools in the Charlotte area are really not good, and I think this area is really it's really for people not only, but I see it basically caters to young single people. So I'm pretty sure if I had school age children, I wouldn't be living here for the most part. Um, when will you know if CLT is your forever home? That's a good question. When will I know? I think by the time my lease is up, I've been here over 3 years. I think over 3 years, I should know like, do I want to move or do I want to? And I don't even know where I would move to. Like, I've thought about Atlanta real quick, but besides, I don't even know like move where, like where else? Because I don't believe that anywhere is that much. Like maybe DMV would be cool, but like, well, it's cold. Yeah, haha, yeah. When I moved here, I definitely checked it out. It's just cold now, so I've been semi-AMA. Yeah, I was thinking that's cold now to be running outside. Okay, Guzzy 4.99 super chat. Okay, don't forget everyone. Today is Sunday, the day of giving. If you're in the spirit, it's not compulsory. All I need you to do is really like this video. Please, everyone watching right now, like this video. It really helps us get in the algorithm. It really helps YouTube know that people like the content, that, we're not doing this for nothing. It really helps people know that we're engaged. Please like this live right now. Please, please, please. And also, if you can, don't forget the super chat option, any amounts to support the ministry. It would be very appreciated. Houston, I don't think I can move to Houston. I don't like Houston. And Ngozi knows this. I don't even know why she's saying that. If you had children, you would relocate / move away from Charlotte. No, I'm not saying that. I would probably live more in the outskirts of Charlotte, or I would live probably like in Matthews, or I would live in I could probably consider Huntersville, Concord. Like I see why people with families are like outside of Charlotte because a lot of the schools in Charlotte are not good. How would you rate the like crime in Charlotte? That's a great question because I hear a lot recently about crime and I'm a bit oblivious to it. I'm not even going to lie because I don't really watch the news. It makes me paranoid when it comes on. Sometimes at 12 o'clock after I watch The View, I just change it. But I like once a week I stay in the loop. But there have been articles I've seen about the crime rates increasing, and that's expected. Like things are expensive. I don't know why the government I said like they don't have a part in what's happening. If things become more expensive and it's harder for people to get by, obviously crime is going to increase because people need to get by. Duh, but I don't know. Let's get the likes up. Love those glasses. Thank you. I don't know why I haven't been wearing my glasses. Like these glasses, what? I don't know why. ATL is trash. I'm from here. Yeah, that's a lot of people say that's. I just feel like there's no perfect place. I keep telling people this. You meet people from DC in the comments, terrible. Atlanta, terrible. Houston, all married men. Dallas. Oh, I just feel like the key I think we're missing is that major cities have issues because it's a fast pace and a lot of people are not worried about settling down. I think that's the issue that people want to like. I really believe that if people even moved to North Carolina and went to like maybe a Greensboro or like Winston-Salem, places that you would never really think of, you might realize that maybe it'll be easier to even meet someone because there's nothing really to do there. When you come to places with all these activities, all these clubs, all this stuff going on, people, men and women, get very distracted. And I think that's something that we don't think about. Like back in the day when people were marrying younger and getting together, there was no social media. There was none of this, like there wasn't all this accessibility to men and women. Like these things are definitely affecting the way we are navigating dating, the way we're navigating our social life, the way we are navigating life. We can't make it seem like these things, like it doesn't have an impact. So I think sometimes another thing to consider is that maybe people who really are thinking about moving somewhere specifically because of a partnership, maybe living somewhere that's close to a major city, but not the major city of that state. Like Charlotte is a major city of North Carolina. Atlanta is a major city of Georgia. Houston, Dallas, major cities of Texas, specifically Houston. LA, major city of California. You know what I mean? So that's something to look into. Tony, you, oh my God, thank you so much for the super chat. We really, really appreciate it. Thank you. Crime is rising. Area, what area should I look for in an apartment? You have to let me know what you're looking for because that's such an open-ended question. I don't know if you don't have children, right? I don't think you're the one. You don't have. I don't know what you're trying to pay. I don't know what your vibe is. I don't know what you're looking for. So please just give me more information. Don't do Atlanta. It's a party city with higher crime than Charlotte. Way more traffic. I did Atlanta too. Yes, exactly. Like even though I was like Atlanta, I'm like, oh, do I really see myself in Atlanta? Ugh, Houston, you're delusional, Ngozi. I agree. No perfect place is what you make it. Honestly, it doesn't. I know people in Atlanta that don't do anything. I know people in the big cities that are still bored. So it's just about what you make it. And oh my God, this is a great question. What is the Black professional scene like, or is there one? So I mentioned this earlier in the live if you didn't catch it. That's the issue I'm having with Charlotte finding the Black professional scene. I have not found it yet. That's my goal. That's my mission to find it. I can't say it doesn't exist just because I haven't found it. That's not fair, but I'll keep you posted. That's the issue I'm having. That it just seems like when I go to a lot of Black owned spots in Charlotte, the vibe is a bit too, like I said, rah rah. It's a bit too rowdy, or it's older. Either it's rowdy or it's people that are 50 years old. No offense to anyone having a 50-year-old, but I'm not trying to chill with 50-year-olds. I don't want a 50-year-old man. You get what I'm saying? Like if we're talking about that, like I'm not trying to be with a 50-year-old. No offense to 50-year-olds. I'm just being real. So that's my issue I find with Charlotte. Like either the crowd is much older or the younger crowd is too like too wild, a little bit too wild for me. And like I said, I like chill vibes. CLT geography is good, not to south. That's exactly why I chose Charlotte, because it just wasn't too down south. It wasn't, the weather's still decent. I would love to be in a warmer climate, but to get there, you have to go further south. You know, True. I met my partner while living in a smaller city. Meanwhile, when I was living in NYC and DC, nothing. LOL. Was also younger then, but I definitely get your point regarding larger cities for single folks. Yeah, I think that's something we don't keep in mind. Like, imagine if these men didn't have all these clubs to go to, don't see all these women. They're bored on the weekend. What else? What else is there next to do? Let me get a woman and commit and settle down. There's nothing else to do. But when you're in these cities that's lit every weekend, this part, like I think it's natural that's gonna take longer for the men to get tired of it because there's so much options, there's so many women, there's so many things to do that it's too distracting. Even women, a lot of women will tell you I blinked and I was 37. How you blink you was 37, you will understand because they was out having fun. They were out living their life. And next thing you know, they're like, well, I want to settle down. Like, where did the time go? But if you're in a small little city, maybe even the country, a little countryside where there's not much to do, I think people are naturally going to going to be inclined to settle down earlier. There's a Black professional happy hour on Tuesday. I'm actually going to that. You talking about the nurses mingle thing? I've never heard of it. I've never been to one, so I'm actually really excited to go because I'm bugging. I should have been one to one. I'm going to one. Too many distractions, right? City life is very, very distracting. That's something I think that we don't put into consideration sometimes. Very distracting, from not just for men, for women as well. Yeah. So for anyone looking for where I would recommend living, I do have a video. Um Best neighborhoods for millennials in Charlotte, North Carolina. Check out our YouTube channel. There's a video on that too. Yeah, that's it. I've been to a few. How were they? How was the vibe? Do I have to dress up? Like I don't really, like I don't want to wear a skirt suit. Like I guess I'll wear a dress. Like, but how is it? I'm definitely gonna go to the one this Thursday. I'm actually excited about that. So basically, the 30s to 40s Black professional seems to be sparse. Yes, you hit it on the nail. Like I'm just like, where are the young people in Charlotte, North Carolina? Like, where are the young professionals? It's like either I'm seeing older people, or I know like maybe some spots I think younger people will club too, but I don't want to be with 25-year-olds necessarily either, But like to see that my age group, like early 30s, I'm not seeing a lot of young Black professionals when I go out. Like I see some places you go, like Stats is a good place. Like you see a lot of people, but I just don't. The vibe I get when I go there is not professional vibes. Let's just keep it there. Like I don't get like young professional vibes. Like the girls be women always have. You tend to see more professional women than men anyway, especially in the Black community. But I don't see like maybe I'm judging them. Maybe by the way they dress and the way they're carrying this stuff, I just feel like they're not professional. Maybe they can be, but I doubt it. Like they just don't give me that vibe when I go to those type of places. So you let me know if someone knows, please, some suggestions. So we're gonna be on here for about 10 more minutes. Anyone have any questions specifically to move into Charlotte in 2023? And I think it's mostly millennials probably in this, and I just think that where you live can play a huge factor. Like I know people want to save money. So just keep in mind that a lot of times you get what you pay for, and you don't want to be too secluded to the point that going out is going to be a hassle or an inconvenience. Like, yes, we want to save money, we want to secure the bag or whatever, but I wouldn't suggest going living in Valentine. I just wouldn't suggest going to live in Huntersville. I wouldn't suggest living in places that are. I wouldn't suggest living in Concord, like I said earlier, just because you're going to be far away from where things are happening. Even Huntersville's a little better because a lot of things are university, so you won't be too far off. But I just don't think it's worth it. Like unless you're going to save a lot of money, I really think that for the young people, you need to be like as close to Uptown as possible. For someone that's new here, you never lived in Charlotte, you want to be around things, you want to be able to get up and be where you want to be in 10 minutes, you don't like driving. If you're down, if driving is not going to stop you, that's fine. Some people, it doesn't matter. Like whether it's far or close, they're there for the streets, like they're ready. But I know for me, mm-mm. Are you in a sorority? No, I'm not. I found that when I moved to a smaller city, all the Black professionals were in sororities, fraternities, and they would have events or run in the same circles. That makes sense. No, I'm not in a sorority. Girl, where are the jobs? What sector do you mean? I just know banking is really big here. People say healthcare. Healthcare is big here, but the pay is nothing to write home about. It's nothing crazy. I just know finance is really big. Like I guess banking is really big here because Wells Fargo, I believe this is one. I saw something the other day. Like basically, this is like one of their hubs. It's not overly dressy. The happy hours are chill. I've actually met quite a few professionals there. Great. Is it a lot of women? Because it's nurses mingle. So I was thinking, oh, let me be quiet. At least for first year, after that you can move out further. Yeah, for your first year, I really suggest living as close to Uptown as possible. Uptown, South End, Noda. I would say maybe even South Park's not too bad. South Park's expensive. University's not too bad, but university's a little far in my opinion. But then at least if you're trying to do the Black stuff, a lot of stuff is in university, so you won't be so far from that, you know. It was a lot to type, but yes, I was considering Uptown. Uptown's not bad. I just know it's very, very pricey. That's the only issue with Uptown. But you could Uptown, like everywhere, a lot of things. Uptown South End, that's basically mostly Plaza Midwood, another good area to live in. I moved to Uptown, which has been a plus. I'm walking distance to South End and close to Noda, etc. Exactly, like that's where stuff are happening. Uptown, South End, Noda, Plaza Midwood. I would say those like of the places I go to, and then university is not too bad too. Philanthropy. You saying jobs? Where the jobs at? Philanthropy? I'm confused. I stay in university area close to the light rail. Okay, yeah, I've been in that area. University has a lot of Black-owned businesses. So as I say, like if that's the like if you're someone that's going to go to a lot of those type of establishments, university is a great place to live because literally my dentist, like anything, a lot of things that are Black owned, I end up going to university for. Nice, yeah. Uptown is cool. Uptown's cool. Just a lot of the homelessness. I know they used to have like tent city. I don't think that's going on anymore. But that's my only concern with living in Uptown. Is for like how can I pay 2,000 plus for an apartment and then I walk on and homeless people all around me. It's just kind of like weird to me. I just feel like I don't know. But you should visit the View whenever you're coming down. There's a lot of nice apartments in Uptown. Uptown is a good area. You're walking. If you like to walk, you want to be in a place with a good walking score. Like it just really depends on what you're looking for. South End is cool too. Yeah. Any other questions about moving to Charlotte in 2023? Yeah, I think you should do it if you've really been wanting to do. I think you should do it. Just have realistic expectations. You're not moving to Atlanta, you're not moving to Houston, you're not moving to LA, you're not moving to Miami. Just be realistic. Charlotte is still an up and coming city. Up and coming city. That's something to keep in mind. Like it's come a long way apparently from where it used to be, but you can't compare it to bigger cities that have been doing this for years and years and years. Years and like it's still up and coming. Especially I keep telling people like if you want a certain vibe, Charlotte may not be for you. Like some people want to be around a lot of Nigerians, a lot of Nigerian people. That's part of the reason why I didn't even choose Houston when I really think about it, because I was like, oh, I want more diversity. I don't want, and like Houston, if you're someone that really wants to be around Nigerians, I would say pick Houston because you're gonna be able to go so many restaurants and find your food, so many lounges and hear your music. But Charlotte's not the place for that. There's not a lot of Nigerians here. Every city has a homelessness issue. It's so sad. How much should one budget for an apartment? Again, that's a very open-ended question. It really depends on where you're living, but I think at least for one bedroom, if you want to be in a good area, I think you should be expecting to pay at least minimum 1,500, which would still even be reasonable. But I think that should be like the absolute minimum. It's all overpriced, but university area seems to be one of the most affordable. Yeah, I keep telling people that South Charlotte seems more congested to me. Okay, like I hear a lot about Still Creek. I'm gonna visit there soon, but yeah, university. I keep telling people like it's affordable. Like when I go look for apartments, I'm looking online. University is where I've seen the most affordable apartments. I don't know if it's because of college area. I don't know if it's because it's further out as well. Maybe some people don't want to drive that far, but university definitely is affordable. Haha, Houston is America. Yes. So I literally said that last week in Houston, like, yo, this is Nigeria. Houston is the American Lagos. So someone that really wants to be around Nigerians, I get why they moved to somewhere like Houston. You're gonna come to Charlotte, you're not gonna get the vibe you want. We have like two Nigerian restaurants. We have like two, we don't even have a Nigerian owned club. All the stuff we go to are not even owned by Nigerians. Like literally, like where they do that at? Like no Nigerian owned club, like two Nigerian owned restaurants, or like three. It's not a lot. Like, of course, it's there, but the presence here, you can't compare it to somewhere like Houston. No. Given the growth of Raleigh, do you still prefer Charlotte? What if you were married and with children? I think if I was married with children, I'd consider Raleigh definitely. That's the vibe I get from Raleigh. And I heard it's getting really expensive over there, so it's not even like it's so cheap or anything. I have a friend that lives there, but I definitely think if I had a family, I'll consider Raleigh. Why not? And there's a lot of one thing about Raleigh, I've heard that there's a lot of good areas that still have a lot of Black people. Like, how a lot of these places, it seems as if like you want a good school system, you want a safe area, you're just gonna be, you won't really see a lot of Black people. But with Raleigh, I've heard that it's not like that, but we'll see. Why don't you like Houston? LOL. And I visited Charlotte. And the young crowd is kind of wild. Like not polished. Nuck if you buck. Okay, that's literally what I want to say, but I don't want to trigger anyone. I don't want people getting like that's the vibe I get when I go to some of these places. It's a little ratchet. Like let's just call a spade, and like that's not the vibe I want. That's not the area I want to be in. Houston is too big for me. If I really want to be too much driving, too is too big for me. I don't want to have to drive 1 hour to get somewhere. I hear about the traffic. Um, the Nigerian scene, yeah, they have it there, but it's really not this it's somehow to me like it just uh, it's not no, it's not for me. Doesn't it have a lot of young people in university area? Yeah, it definitely does because the colleges are there. So that's another thing to keep in mind. I don't know if people feel comfortable with that. Do you hang out with Black Americans? To be honest, not really. I go to Black American establishments, but I don't have like all. First of all, I don't deal with a lot of people. Period. To be honest, because I'm new here, right? Like I don't have that many friends per se. But the people I hang out with, my cousin, she's obviously Nigerian because I'm Nigerian. My other couple of friends I go out with here and there, they're Nigerian. So I really do I have an American friend? No, I have other friends like different African groups, but actually, yeah, I don't have any American friends. I don't. So I think that's another reason why I don't really know a lot of the American spots and what to do because I don't have American friends. Maybe I don't know. I'm from Houston, born and raised. I co-sign with Nana. Yes, Houston's not for me. UNC Charlotte University area, so yes, a lot of college students, but it's also diverse. Okay. How do you meet guys? I guess in the streets. That's the challenging part because like it's hard like just to meeting random people when you go out. It's just like ugh. But at the same time, it's like how you gonna meet people who don't go out. I've met people through people. Yeah. Arbiter Arboretum area of Shasta is nice outside the city, but not too far. Okay, I'll check that out. You don't have to hang out with Nigerians. It depends on what you choose to do. You talk about in Houston. But that's not my biggest issue with Houston. I said that it's big and everything is too far. It's just I don't know. Maybe I haven't been to the right spots. I just nothing about it's like, oh my gosh, I have to move here from Charlotte. I don't get anything special about Houston besides the better weather. Like there's nothing there that to me is so spectacular that I would pick up everything I have in Charlotte and go move to Houston. Like I just don't I don't get that vibe from Houston. I'm staying in silent. Don't forget to hit the like button. Yes, everyone, don't forget to hit the like button. Don't forget about the super chats. Yeah, I'm just going to round up. So yeah, I just think that people just need to be realistic with the expectations, so that way in life you don't get disappointed. Like, don't think because you're moving to Charlotte, you heard so many things about Charlotte, you think it's gonna be this crazy. And it might be for you, right? Because it depends again where you're moving from. I appreciate Charlotte a lot because I'm coming from a suburb in New Jersey where there's nothing to do. You know what I mean? The highlight of my week would be going to church. So for me, I appreciate Charlotte because I could find anything I want to do in Charlotte. I could find, do I think it has its flaws? Of course. Do I think they need more spaces for Black professionals? Of course. Do I feel like the vibe sometimes is a bit off? Of course. But I don't think it's a bad city. I wouldn't tell someone not to move here, but don't move to Charlotte thinking it's ATL. Don't move to Charlotte thinking that it's Houston. Don't move to Charlotte thinking that it's Miami. Like, be realistic with your expectations. Again, it's an up and coming city. You're not going to get that vibe. You're not going to, and the food in Charlotte is nothing to write home about. I say that all the time. They have a lot of cute, fancy restaurants for vibes, for the ambiance, to take pictures, put it on Instagram. But the actual taste, yeah. Charlotte is really nice though. I love the scenery and I feel like building community, but I feel like building community is hard. Do you live in Charlotte? Is that why you're saying that? Yeah, building community is hard. Definitely, 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 definitely. And I think that's why it's natural. Well, I think that's why I've ended up knowing so many Nigerians because it's just natural. Like, that's my community. Those are the people. So it's easier for me to meet a Nigerian because if I go to a Nigerian church, okay, I meet them. If I go to Nigerian spots on a weekend, I'm gonna meet them. If I have one Nigerian friend, I'm gonna meet people through them. So it's not like I have anything against having any type of friends. I want American friends. I want different people to show me different places, different perspective. But it's just if I'm hanging out with Nigerians a lot, it's natural that I'm going to meet I'm going to meet them. And I noticed someone had mentioned before, like, people in Charlotte can be really cliquish. And I don't know if that's a Charlotte thing. I would think that's maybe everywhere, but women in general can be very cliquish. So it's not easy trying to integrate in these groups that already have 5 girls in it or 4 girls in it. I don't even want that anyway. Would you move back to New Jersey? I would if I had a reason to. It's not like I just don't want to deal with the cold. Like, I'm even cold in Charlotte right now. Like, today was raining all day. Right now, you see, I have my sweater on. Like, I just can't imagine going back to snow. And I guess if I work remote, I won't really feel it. Like, maybe and if I move out to, I just don't think I would go and live in the suburbs like I was living. Like, I would have to live somewhere else. But in New Jersey, I was bored there. That's why I was so bored. Like, it's just, if it wasn't for my church, I don't know what I'll be doing. I don't know what my social life will look like. My social life was like literally church stuff, and like, I also too, it might be because I worked at a standalone clinic, so I didn't have coworkers. So I think that's a big part of your social life as well. Come to Puerto Rico. It's 10:40 p.m. Right now, 90 degrees. Puerto Rico. I don't know about that. I'll get back to you on that, Lil Ernest. But yeah, NJ is for families. How was the healthcare system like PC people? Oh, and that's one. Okay, great question. And that's something I love about living in Charlotte. I'll talk to my cousin like this. Finding Black anything is easy. Like, there's nothing Black you can't find in Charlotte. Maybe if you talk about specialists, it might be a little bit more challenging, but I've had specialists that were Black. ENT, endocrinologists, my dentists are Black. Like it's so easy. Dermatologists, when they be wild. OBGYN dermatologists, they're always hard to get because they're booked out regardless of race, I guess. But I love that about Charlotte is that if I want a Black owned nail tech, I could find it. If I want a Black owned um massage place, I could find it. If I want a Black owned, like anything Black, almost anything Black owned, you can find it. There's a page on Instagram, Black owned CLT, I believe. If you're interested in knowing about more Black owned establishments, definitely check that out. And it's interesting when you see establishments that are Black owned, you would never know. Like, because you always have this idea of that Black owned. I don't know how to say it without being offensive. Like, I feel like most places that are Black owned, you could kind of tell they're Black owned, if that makes sense. Like, they're usually very small, very like, like mom and pop, or, maybe they just have a lot going on. You could kind of tell, but like, you'll be surprised. A lot of really sophisticated, a lot of like a lot of places are Black owned, and they're thriving. So I definitely think Charlotte is a good place. And it makes sense because there are a lot of Black people in Charlotte. So that makes a lot of sense. So to round up, it's been about 40 minutes. I don't want this live to be long. If anyone has any burning last minute questions, feel free to ask. But overall, before moving to Charlotte, North Carolina 2023, make sure you really understand what you're looking for in the city and just be real with yourself and have realistic expectations, have realistic budget. Just be real because things are getting expensive. You still want the you still don't want to just deprive yourself of things. You still want a decent quality of life. So that's something to keep in mind. Living on your own is expensive because you're not sharing the bills with anyone else. So yeah, if you're coming from a place you don't know anyone, I don't advise to go live in Concord. I don't advise you to go live in Huntsville. I don't advise you to go live in South Carolina. Like, I don't advise that. Like, I just don't. I get why people do it because of the money, but come on, like it's hard enough moving somewhere by yourself when you don't know people. Trust me, it's hard enough. And then you want to go isolate yourself on top of that, or live in a suburb with families and dogs. I just wouldn't recommend it. I just don't. I think I might be moving to CLT to say, yeah, I'm different. Where you living now? CLT is getting expensive. Yes, definitely. Okay, so before I log off, everyone, please again, don't forget to like this video. Don't forget to like this video. If you're feeling the mood, don't forget about the super chats. That's always an option. Do your friends from New Jersey come to visit you? That's a good question. Actually, I didn't really have, like, after college and then work, I didn't really have that many close friends in New Jersey. But some of my college friends have come and visit me. But like when I was in New Jersey, no, not really. Mm-mm. I have people come and visit me, but it's not them. It's not them. And then the way I moved was kind of weird because it was during the pandemic. I didn't really tell people. I just kind of got up and left. Like, it was just, yeah, Jersey was from Virginia. Okay, cool. All right, so I'm about to end the broadcast if no one has any more questions. I'll be back on next Sunday with a juicier topic. So, we're just going to get a little juicier and juicier. Of course, it's funner when Ngozi's on because it's two of us. Oh, Coco Butterfly. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you for the super chat. I really, really appreciate it. It's funner when Ngozi's on because it's both of us and we kind of like bounce off ideas. So maybe the next one I'll have her join in as a guest so we can still pretend that it's both of us, right? Because with one person, it's not as engaging, it's not exciting. And then next one, I'm going to have people call in as well. So the next topic for next week, I don't know what it's going to be yet, but be on the lookout, and we'll be bringing people into the lives so they can ask questions directly to us and we can kind of just talk, because just being one person is not the same vibe. I'm not really feeling it like I was feeling it last Sunday. But thank you everyone for tuning in. Again, don't forget to like. We have a lot of apartment tour videos coming up. Dating in CLT, you think that should be the next topic for next Sunday? Dating? I'll leave that for February, Valentine's Day, Valentine's month. And I'm thinking my update, 2.5 years living in Charlotte. Should I make it a live or should I make that an actual sit down video? Yeah, I'll think about that. You're welcome. I'm different. And I will see you all next Sunday again at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I guess that's 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I will be here every Sunday for y'all until further notice, and we're just gonna make it happen. And then we're gonna bring in some topics next month, the month of love. We're gonna transition a bit from this whole relocation, Charlotte, Houston. We're gonna talk about the stuff that we were talking about. So this channel, basically, to be honest, is about relocation and relationships. If we really want to niche down, that's what this channel is really about: relocation and relationships. So we're gonna finish up this relocation talk for next Sunday. In February, we're going into relationship because it's these streets are moving crazy. Like, it's craziness out here. We need to have some serious discussions. I want guys, like, literally, I want guys tuning in, women tuning in. We're not gonna have these gender wars. We're gonna get this together because what I'm seeing, it's crazy. And now I think at the end of the day, we all want the same things. And yeah, we just need to have more conversations. Yeah, like the video, everyone. Late. Yeah, Edwin, you're late, but you can watch it later. All right. Good night, everyone, and be safe out there. See you next Sunday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Bye.